Hello everyone, my name is Phil Klotzbach. I'm a research scientist in the Department of Atmospheric Science at Colorado State University, and I'd like to talk with you a little bit about Hurricane Irma. Hurricane Irma formed off the west coast of Africa several days ago. It's been a major hurricane now for several days, but over the past 24 hours it has rapidly intensified. Now is a Category 5 hurricane, the top side of the Saffir-Simpson scale. So the winds now are very strong, some of the strongest we've observed in the Atlantic Basin. The storm is forecast to track through the Leeward Islands and then move north of Hispaniola, potentially significantly impacting Hispaniola and Puerto Rico, headed towards Cuba, perhaps influencing also the Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas, before heading towards Florida. Now, there is still significant uncertainty as to exactly how the storm will approach the state of Florida and how much it will interact with the mountainous terrain of Cuba. If the storm were to interact dramatically with the terrain of Cuba, it could potentially weaken significantly, but a lot of the models are taking it just north of Cuba, potentially having less influence of the overall terrain features, and potentially still being a very strong storm. Right now, the National Hurricane Center has a Category 4 hurricane tracking through the Florida Keys in about 5 days. So certainly, obviously, this is a very, very significant storm, something that obviously we need to be monitoring very, very closely over the next several days, since it is looking, unfortunately, more and more like Florida is going to be very significantly impacted by Hurricane Irma. The last hurricane to hit South Florida was Hurricane Charlie back in 2004, but unlike Charlie, Irma is likely to be much larger in overall size than Charlie was, so potentially causing even more damage than what we saw from Hurricane Charlie back in 2004. Again, this is a very, very significant storm, so those of you living in Florida, now's the time to get your hurricane evacuation plan. Make sure you know what you're going to do if a storm threatens. Also get your hurricane preparedness kit ready, because again, power may be out for several days after the storm makes landfall if it's as bad as some of the forecast models in the Hurricane Center are saying. So now's the time to be prepared. We do have several days before the storm is likely to cross over into Florida, but again, this could potentially be a very significant storm for the state.